Hey guys, Rich from Rich Mid Gaming. Hope everyone is doing fantastically well. Once again, joined by Quinn. Quinn, how you doing?
Hello, I am less than enthused.
Quinn is really annoyed because we've just been recording for the last 10 minutes and I realised that I hadn't activated his audio on the recording. So yeah, you'd have had 10 minutes of me talking to myself with nobody answering, which yeah,
Which is not something anyone wants to see.
nobody
Everyone wants
nobody
to
needs that.
see.
Nobody needs that. Quinn, we've had a really good weekend, right? As MCP fans.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, we've had the MiniStravaganza, which was absolutely brilliant, but also, I went to a tournament.
You went to a tournament. You came second.
I did indeed.
Beaten by our good friend Daz. So
Indeed,
I think if you're
yep.
going to get beaten by anyone, and he's running Black Order, like, it's almost he's almost cheating, isn't he?
Easy win, right? Reality calls.
Exactly,
win, yeah.
right? Exactly. So good for me because both Quinn and Daz are representing Rich Mid Gaming in the upcoming Multiverse tournament in November, so a team tournament. So guys, we had MiniStravaganza this weekend. You probably saw the video on Friday. Me and Quinn were covering things literally live as they came through. We were recording the whole thing and then adding them in as and when. We made some predictions earlier that Friday, so let's start and take a look at the predictions that we made and how correct we were or maybe were not in some cases. So Quinn, from Friday, I was 2-0 up, right? I got the Hulkbuster and Miss Marvel threats absolutely spot on. You were 1 out on both of them.
Yeah, it's definitely not because we had to be contrarian to make the actual, contest.
He picked first. And then we made 6 other character pack predictions, didn't we? CP 51, 55, 56, 57, 59, and 60, which were all of the character packs that were missing from the list that we currently have. So starting off with the first one, it was a bit of a non-starter because we didn't even see who or what character pack 51 was, did we?
No, we didn't, but we heard some rumblings.
We have heard some rumblings. We are led to believe it may be a Sentinel pack of some sorts, which would be really cool. Like, really cool. I'm not sure how they would work or what they would come with, whether it's an affiliation or whether it's a terrain pack that's going to be a broken Sentinel or...
Well, we've already got
I'm not
that.
sure.
We've already got the terrain pack because they have the one that's fallen onto a petrol station.
Oh, of course, yes. We already have that. So, yeah, who knows?
It could be an actual Sentinel.
Yeah, who knows what it's going to be. So, we scored 0 points for either of them. Juggernaut, as we'll cover off, we got to see his character, or at least his miniature, and we've not seen a character card, we've seen a tactics card, but we do know what threat level he is, and we do have an insight into some of his abilities, don't we, Quinn?
Yeah, that threat level being 5 for anyone that was left wondering.
Yes, absolutely. So CP55, he was not. We once again didn't get CP55, so that is another gap. I think he was in 56, wasn't he? But we both get a point there, Quinn, because we both said that we would see, or that they would talk about Juggernaut. Another point.
If only I had a way to catch you up.
Another point then is Colossus. So we got to see about Colossus. Once again, we know his threat level, which I believe is threat level 4, Quinn.
Yeah, threat 4.
Which you're quite happy about.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine he's going to be sort of Luke Cage, Black Dwarf style. He'll have a way to bodyguard, but not bodyguard.
Let's hope he's not. Let's hope he's not Black Dwarf, for God's sake.
I mean, considering something else that happened at the weekend, maybe that would be a good thing a little later down the line.
Yeah, potentially. But we both got the other character in his pack wrong. I said Kitty Pryde. You said Jubilee. It was actually Magic. But props to you, Dan Taylor, who in the comment section of our predictions video did say you would like to see Magic with Colossus. You don't get any points because you're not playing our game. It's our game.
Yeah.
And we'll make the rules up, so you don't get any points.
Leave us
alone. But they were, again, not in CP56. They were in CP57, so we don't get anything for that. 57 was obviously Colossus, so we don't get anything for that. Iceman and Pyro did not make an appearance, but who made an appearance, Quinn?
Oh, it's your favourite couple, you know, the Cajun and the Southern Belle. It's Rogue and Gambit.
Rogue and Gambit. And we've seen the character card and tactics cards for one of these, and we've actually seen a tactics card for Gambit as well, but we haven't got his character card. They're obviously saving some for the usual Tuesday release of Panel to Play. But again, we know a little bit about Gambit, don't we, Quinn, in terms of his threat level?
We know he's a 3 threat, and I hold very strong hope that he has stealth, a range 3 rapid fire builder that you can choose the type of, energy or physical, and he might have some sort of ability to steal and extract a la Black Cat and Amora with something called like King of Thieves would be my guess.
It feels right, doesn't it? Like
it really
he's that kind of character. And then the rest of these were a complete write-off because we didn't get any of them.
Yeah, I mean, I will just say very quickly, good God, do I love that Gambit model. It's so good.
Oh, it's really good. Yeah, it's really, really good. So yeah, there we are, guys. It ended a little bit boring, really. 4 each. So we both got 4 predictions right. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think you know, that's probably the best way for it to end, right? Is the most amicable outcome.
Yeah. I think we didn't get as many character cards or character packs as we thought, did we? But, and we'll move on to this towards the latter part of the video, they did give us something else which I would have taken over character packs any day of the week. But we'll run through that towards the end of the video. Right. And then here we are with where everything fits. So we've got Juggernaut, we've got Colossus, where else? And then down here we've got Rogue and Gambit. So moving on to the first character that we got revealed then, Quinn. Magic. 3 threat. We know 100% she's in Convocation. We know really that she's an X-Man because...
No, we have no idea, Rich. She might
because
be...
the teaser trailer told us.
I'm trying to think like the weirdest affiliation she could be. She might be an Inhuman.
Yeah, they've done Stranger Things.
Actually, no, they have mutants. She might be Black Order.
They do, yeah. Yeah, they do. So Magic, Iliana, Rasputin. So we're not going to do a full in-depth review of the card, but Quinn, initial thoughts on her as a 3 threat?
I absolutely love her. She's basically a 3 threat version of the Ancient One with a teleport, and yeah, I'm down for that.
Yep, I like the mix of energy builder and an energy builder and a mystic builder. We spoke about it before. I love characters that have got those 2 builders where you get to choose. The PS is really nice. Dark Child, do not underestimate how potentially devastating it is. Dark Child gets better the tankier the character you are punching into, basically, because you include the number of failures not only in yours but in your opponent's defense rolls, the same way that you do with Dormammu. So yeah, super happy with her as a character. And again, what an amazing miniature that she comes with as well.
I'm just on the gallery right now and looking at the 360. It's just like, oh, this is so good.
It's really good. It's really good.
I'm very happy because there is rather high potential for her to be a Midnight Sun, which, you know, I'd like another really good.
Always comes back to the Midnight Suns with you, doesn't it?
Does. I literally built. We were waiting to start recording this because I was assembling my blade.
This is true. My blade, however, is still in his box that I haven't opened. Hopefully Quinn hasn't seen that video. He did get a shout out on that video, but it was me. It was me throwing the Blade and Moon Knight box going, nobody's interested in that. So yeah, overall, I'm super happy with it. She's a really strong 3 threat. She's the kind of 3 threat I can see being taken out of affiliation very, very easily. Very, very easily. And definitely falls into that killy side of cards.
Easy access to Mystic Attacks is a great thing, and having it on a 3 threat that is actually quite punchy is really desirable, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Quick look at her tactics card then. Let's just zoom in a little bit on this. So journey through Limbo. During Magic's activation, she may spend 3 power to play this card. Choose another character within 2 of Magic. Place the chosen character within 3 of its current position. it gains Incinerate. So it's any character.
Yep.
So you could
So
do this to Dom. You could do this to Dormammu.
I mean,
And-
to put this into perspective of something that we already know about, this is effectively Scalpel of Strange for one less, but it's tactic card and does Incinerate.
Yeah. So I really like this. You know, on your opponent, pulling them in, putting an Incinerate on them, and then letting somebody else just beat the living daylights out of them. I really, really like. It's also because it's the place. There's no size restriction, is there? Which is always really, really powerful.
I think it's a decent card. I'm not sure how often it makes your 5 or your
or your 8 at the moment, Quinn. 8.
What?
Actually,
my numbers wrong again, Rich.
I've already just uploaded a video that went out. When you guys see this, it'll have been yesterday on Sunday when I went through the 4 new changes. But yeah, one of your 10. And maybe a good time, Quinn, to cover off that new rule, because this is a tactics card. So, not yet, okay, guys, not yet, but at some point between now and the end of the year, probably November time, hopefully in time for the multiverse event that we're running, tactics cards, you will be able to go from having 8 in your roster to 10 in your roster. I'm super happy about that, Quinn, because I want to take more of these really cool thematic, character dedicated cards.
But yeah, also I think this is a rather needed boon for Convocation as well, because they have so many good cards and you want to take all of them. The fact that they are, going from having effectively 7 cards to choose from to 9 because they have to take that. Well, they don't have to, but they want to take their leadership.
They're going to take the leadership, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. I like this card. I think you're right. I think if you're taking Magic, you're taking this. It's I just like it. I think it's really good. And 3 power for a range 3 move and the Incinerate. I think that's the icing on top, or the cherry on top, as they say. Right. I'll let you do this one. Rogue. How happy are you about Rogue?
Well, first of all, she meant that I didn't lose our game, so
this is true. This is true.
Second of all, oh boy, am I ready for some Anna Marie LeBeau. Good God, is she good.
Really nice defensive stats. And she's just a brawler, right? She's
a beast. 4 threat, being able to charge in. She's got invulnerability, size 4 throw. It's all mental.
Yeah. We haven't had a good brawler character for it feels like a long time. We've had a lot of these, longer range mystic attacks. Obviously we're coming out of this mystic wave.
I mean,
characters
would like a word, Rich.
He
will bad touch you, I promise.
He's a brawler as well, but I just love this. Absolutely love this card. And again, super happy with the miniature that we've got for her as well.
On the miniature front, I'm slightly less sold on it.
Really?
I'm just hoping that there are options in that kit to not have one of her legs on fire.
Yeah, hopefully there will be. Or
because I don't want to. I might not actually base her on that base, even though it is an entirely unique base, which is cool because we've never actually seen anything quite like that before.
Yeah. I quite like it. I quite like the pose. It's not the best, but I do like it. But again, going back to her card, the charge. Yeah, charge is just super strong, right? Absolutely super strong. Especially a charge followed by a Southern Hospitality, where you can throw a size 4 character or less.
I mean,
that's quite nice.
But a charge into an absorbing strike feels incredible for just 2 power.
Because the chances are you're going to get that power back as well.
Oh, you're almost certainly getting that power back. Not only is it a 5 dice builder like you'd expect on a 4 threat, you get to choose its type between physical and energy. Energy being one of is actually the least defended against defense type in the game at the moment. It just has more defensive tech than Mystic. And also wilds for sapping power. Yes, please.
Mutant absorption. So this is something new we haven't seen before. So choose an enemy character within range 2, roll 5 dice. The chosen character loses power equal to the number of crit, wilds, and hits. So basically successes. And then if you roll 5, so you get all 5, for example, you don't explode crits or anything like this on this one. It's only ever 5 dice. If that character only has 2 power, they lose that 2 power and then they lose health. And I think that's a really nice way. This, along with her tactics card, which we'll touch on, is a really nice way to showcase her mutant absorption power, really, isn't it? I think they've done a really good job.
Also, just from like sort of a gameplay perspective and how good this is, imagine just being able to run into someone with a charge, punching them like twice potentially, and then just going, okay, I did like a chunk of damage to you. I sapped some power from you during like the process of my punches. I'm now going to bad touch you, roll 5 dice, give you even less power, and you might actually be worse off, like in terms of power, from like when I started this activation. And I don't doubt it's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's really good. Let's have a quick look then at her first tactics card, which I'm not a massive fan of, being brutally honest. Mind if I cut in, unaffiliated, rogue may play this card this round when an enemy character is choosing the target character for a non-area or non-beam attack and rogue is in range and line of sight. The enemy character may pay 1 power. If they do not, they must attack the target rogue if possible. So it's kind of, it's almost a bit like Bodyguard, but the reverse, right?
In the worst way possible.
Yeah, so it's like Bodyguard is always up unless you pay power. I'm not a fan of it. Yeah, she's tanky-ish, but she's not that tight.
I think I don't like mind this from a tankiness perspective. What I really dislike is how easy it is to ignore it.
Yeah.
As an opponent playing against Rogue, 1 power is a pathetic amount of power to have to pay to ignore punching someone and go for someone you actually want.
Or you just do a beam, right? How many characters have beam attacks now, right? So,
or you just throw her to a point where she's not in range or line of sight if you've got a character throw. There are many ways around this.
Too many for my liking. Too many ways around it.
I would agree on that.
It doesn't make your opponent think too much about it. Her second tactics card, however, first of all, one of the best names, and we'll come on to another one of the best names of tactics cards, but pardon me, Sugar, I'm not going to do it with the southern drawl because I'll offend somebody. But this is a beast of a card. Let's take it down, each one in turn.
Just very quickly, I want to comment on the fact I love how they've spelt sugar.
Of course, how it should be spelled. So again, unaffiliated, and again, this is a rogue-only card. But during Rogue's activation, she may play this card. Select one of the following effects. So let's go through each one, Quinn, and give our opinions on how good each one is.
Yeah, and just before we do, I think it's very important to caveat that the characters listed here do not necessarily need to be friendly.
No, indeed. Yeah. They can be enemy characters, which makes this card a lot better than other cards of this type. So first of all, if Wolverine is within range 2 of Rogue, Rogue gains the healing factor 2 superpower this activation. Wolverine suffers 1. I quite like that. Off the bat, it's very situational, but in that situation where you need to heal some up and an opponent Wolverine has got 1 health left, very nice.
I mean, like, without jumping ahead too much, I will say this is probably my favourite of all the options on this card, but we shall continue.
I would agree, and I think we'll jump into the others, but I would agree that is my favourite of all of them. So number 2 then, if Cyclops is within 2 of Rogue, Rogue may use the Optic Blast attack listed on his stat card once this activation. Cyclops suffers 1. Yeah, it's okay.
I mean, so
it's all right.
I hold out hopes for this because of what we got last night. That there is a very real chance that this becomes a lot better than it currently seems.
I don't think they're going to change him.
I think they are.
Oh,
they might not make that attack any different, but they are going to have some slight tinkering with Scott.
Yeah, potentially. So the next one then is all around Storm. So if Storm is within 2 of Rogue, Rogue adds 2 attack to all her attack rolls for her next attack action, this activation. And then Rogue suffers 1 damage.
Storm, but yeah.
Sorry, Storm suffers 1 damage. It's okay.
If she has a Montesi book, it's really good, is what I'll say.
Yeah.
Because it makes that 6 dice energy beam into an 8 dice energy beam, and that's like 7 Sons of Cinnabis territory.
Yeah, and if you're hitting 2 or 3 opponents with that, it's pretty brutal. Yeah. But yeah, not a fan. Again, it's going to be situational, as all of these are. Right? All of these are going to be situational.
To describe this card in one word would be to say situational, right?
Yeah. But thematic, and if you go back and watch the videos, Schick and Pagani, they hammered this home, didn't they, time and time again. They want tactics cards not to be, oh, here's a heal. They want it to be big thematic comic book plays, and I think this lends itself to that one. Now, the one that apparently was a very last minute addition, because on one of the panels, and I forget who it was that said it, he turned around and said, oh, when I last saw this card, Deadpool wasn't even on there. And actually the one that I look at and go, why is Deadpool on there? But if Deadpool is within range 2 of Rogue, choose an enemy character within 2 of Rogue. This character loses 2 power, which is obviously Deadpool's ability. Deadpool suffers 1 damage. Yeah, I mean, I think that one and the Wolverine one, if you're doing it on your own characters, they're the ones that feel the best. Because those characters can heal them back up.
I mean, that's one of the reasons I think Deadpool is a strange inclusion, is because you would have assumed it would have been a healing factor type thing, right? Because both Deadpool and Wolverine have healing factor. I wouldn't have actually minded if they had been rolled into one, and it was just, if Wolverine or Deadpool is within 2 of Rogue, you get a healing factor 2 for the round.
I gather they wanted to split it up and give you options, but so
it does help. It does massively feed into Rogue's whole theme of stealing your opponent's pack. Stealing in quotation marks, because half of the things don't actually steal; they just make them have less of it.
So then, lastly, Quinn, if Magneto is within range 2 of Rogue, she gains cover against all attack targeting her this round. Magneto suffers 1 damage. Kind of works with her previous card. If she's going to be the one that's like it's almost like a taunt, isn't it, that card, right? I mean, so you play that card and it's a taunt.
It's just 1 power is so negligible. I'm really quite disappointed by that card.
Yeah, it is. Cover is okay. One other thing I want to point out on all of these is we spoke about allied or enemy. If you do this to your allies, they're not going to gain power because this is a friendly effect. If you do it to enemy characters, they are going to take power, or they are going to gain 1 power from that 1 damage that they take, won't they?
They are, yeah. And also, like, another thing about this card is, because we don't have an affiliation for Rogue technically, she might not be an X-Men. She is.
She's an X-Men.
This also is a strong hint to her potentially being a member of the Brotherhood.
Yes, yeah, really, could be, I think, which I would be very happy about, Quinn.
But there may also be potential for X-Force there, because that is the only place Deadpool could overlap with her.
But yeah, I like it. I think if you're taking Rogue, you're probably going to take this, especially now it's 2 extra cards, and if nothing else, some of that thematic is going to be really cool. So on to another card then for Juggernaut. Now I love the name. First of all, I love the name of this card. Do you know who I am?
There was only one way they could have made the name better, right?
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
What's really cool is, and you can't see it on this side of the card, but the license registration plate is JUL 1965. That's July 1965. The first ever appearance. Yep. First ever appearance of the Juggernaut in the X-Men comics, which I absolutely love. Unaffiliated once again. Active card. Juggernaut may spend 3 power to play this card. Choose an interactive terrain feature or an enemy character both of size 4 or less, within range 2 of Juggernaut, and here we go, Quinn, throw them long. This
I
is the
believe
first
clinical
time...
term for this is yeet.
First time we've ever had in the game a long throw of a character. He can do this to Murdoch. He can do this to Hulk. The only character he can't do this to is Dormammu right now.
Potentially a Sentinel too.
Potentially a Sentinel, they're not out yet. But also notice as well, Quinn, Juggernaut may spend 3 to play this card. It does not say during Juggernaut's activation.
Yep, which means you can potentially like daisy chain a bunch of pushes on someone and end it with a long throw and just be like, yeah, you came to the wrong neighborhood. Get out of here.
Yeah, throw any direction, size 4. I am loving this, and I'll tell you why.
Magneto.
He's going to be in Brotherhood.
Yep.
Magneto really likes it when you destroy terrain. One of the things that Brotherhood are missing is a character who can throw other characters. Yeah. This is really good. This is really, really good. Now, it makes me sad because it makes me think that if he does have a throw on his card, it's not going to be characters as well. So that's the sad part of it. But I think being able to throw a size 4 terrain or a character for 3 power long is very, very good.
If I were to put money on what we might see in terms of throws on Juggernaut's card, I would probably say he's not going to have a throw superpower, but he may very well have attacks that do throws.
I think he's going to have a throw on a builder or on either a builder with a trigger or on his spender, and it'll just be a throw. And I think it will just be a throw, by the way, of any size. You know,
I mean, like Dormammu can't stop his momentum, right?
No, well, actually, 1 second. Am I right in thinking that there was something revealed about Juggernaut around he's going to be able to do collision damage himself, isn't he?
Yeah, something along those lines.
So maybe he doesn't get a throw, just as a thought.
I like the classic thing for Juggernaut is like if you're trying to think of how you would implement him in the game, I think it would be like with a physical beam attack where you place him at the end of the beam template at the end of the attack. Yeah. And like people that got hit by the attack get collided with. They
displace like either short feels long, like displacing everyone's short feels very long, but maybe that's what it is.
It's like a choice, right? It's either they get displaced short or they get like pushed short or they get collided with. I don't think you give both because that seems very good for a 5 threat that is probably, I want to say size 3. He might be size 4.
Juggernaut, I think, is going to be size 4.
If he's size 4, then he's going to be an absolute menace if he people.
I think he's going to be a size 4. Looking at his character size, now as we know, the actual physical size of a character doesn't necessarily mean too much in this game, but he's about the same size as Hulk. And in the comics, he's about the same size as Hulk. You know, who the 4s that we've got, Black Dwarf, Murdoch, Hulk, he feels like he belongs in that category for size.
65 mil base, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so he's probably going to be up there. I just think that puts a dampener on the potential for him to have too many ways of like colliding. Yeah, but super stoked. His miniature is really, really good as well. And as you know, we've got options in there as well, haven't we, for traffic lights and things like that. So yeah, super happy with that one. On to the next one then. We've done these slightly out of order, but never mind. So this obviously comes with the Rogue Box. This is Charming Thief. Unaffiliated, reactive. During the power phase, Gambit may play this card. This round, when an enemy character within range 4 of Gambit uses an active or reactive superpower, Gambit gains 1 power after the effect is resolved. Soul Gem for 1 round for no cost. Soul Gem for a round. If Gambit has a bunch of great ways to spend power, which he may very well, that seems like it could be great. It's hard to sort of judge this card based on the fact that we haven't actually seen his character card.
And it's going to make a big thing. You know, if he's got some tech, you know, like Strange has, right, where obviously he's not going to have as much that's as good because he's 3 threat. Strange is 5 threat, but you know, if he's got 2 or 3 superpowers I'd like to see a reactive superpower in there as well. You know, if he's got this, I think it could be good. But again, it's really hard to tell, isn't it? Without, you know, if all he's got is, you know, one builder, one spender, and two superpowers, one of which costs 0, then it's not particularly great. Let's move on to the next one then. And this one, I know a lot of people wanted this to be actually on Colossus's card.
Yeah, I
Anyway.
always knew it was going to be a tactic.
But it was never going to be, right?
And I had a very strong suspicion it would be based along the lines of the other tactic card that is like this.
Which should be called Get Help, but it isn't called Get Help, is it? What's it actually called?
Sibling rivalry.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. It should be called Get Help. So, fastball special. If Colossus is within 2 of an allied Wolverine, both characters spend 1 power to play this card. Fairly straightforward so far. Throw the allied Wolverine medium. Wolverine does not suffer collision damage during this throw. Enemy characters that he collides with roll 2 fewer dodge dice and suffer the bleed special condition.
I mean, I've already said it once, but I'll say it again. Yeet!
I want to point something out here because when we see wording like enemy characters and we pluralize it, he can still only collide with one character. He can't be thrown into more than one character.
Even if you have a situation where you think a character would collide with 2 characters at the exact same movement, you pick one.
Yeah, not possible. Not possible. So, few things to note on this card. First of all, Wolverine is a size 2 character. However, when he counts as when we're doing collision, he counts as size 3. That's something to do with his adamantium skeleton.
Yeah,
so
he's a heavy boy.
That's 4 damage. You're rolling 2 fewer dodge dice and then suffering the bleed condition, Quinn. So that is 4 damage incoming, 2 fewer defense dice, and then bleed for good measure at the end of it. I mean, this is making Wolverine relevant, right? In the X-Men?
Yeah, I mean, like, once again, there might be something else that makes Wolverine relevant.
There could be something else that makes Wolverine relevant, yes.
Yeah, I really like this, especially against, like, a character like... You have a 5 in 8 chance of just killing at most 2 threats, which seems really good for, like, you know, 2 power and a tactic card.
So I really like it. I think it's a super card. Lastly then, Quinn, we got another reveal, didn't we, around a new crisis card, a new secure. So this is the one that comes in the, not as was said on stream, it does not come in Dormammu. I have Dormammu. It does not come in Dormammu. It comes in the Baron Mordo pack, I believe.
And also, like, the gallery has said for months that it doesn't come with Dormammu, but we'll ignore that.
We'll let them off. We'll let them off. So, 19 threat, secure. Intrusions open across city as seals collapse. Place 3 dark portals, target of the opportunity, as indicated on map C. So, map C is the 3 across the middle running east to west, isn't it, Quinn? I think that's the right one.
Yeah.
Players score 1 VP for each dark portal they secure during the cleanup phase. Pretty standard stuff. However, there's some pretty interesting things here. So, interact dark portal. This character drops all objective tokens it is holding, if any, then roll a die. If the result is a crit, wild, hit, or block, place this character within 1 of another dark portal. Otherwise, your opponent places this character within 1 of another dark portal. After being placed, this character suffers 1 damage. It's
a very strange one, isn't it?
It's really strange. Like, I get, you know, I mean,
it's nice having like a C secure that isn't pay to flip.
It is.
But
well, and you've got a 5. You've got a 5 in 8 chance of being able to move yourself, right? And I get if you've got a big character that you want to get from one side of the board to the other, then and they're not holding anything because I don't think you're gonna. You know, if you've got a hammer. You ain't going to do this, right? You're not going to give up.
You're not dropping a hammer to do this unless it's going to be a game-ending play.
So, and remember that your opponent gets to place the tokens that you drop. You don't get to do that. But a 5 in 8.
I will quickly say that even if you fail this roll and you get put in the wrong thing, as long as you have a power, you can just try again. because it doesn't.
Because it's a different portal. Yeah.
Because it's a different portal, you can interact with it again. So effectively, if you have 2 power, you have 2 shots that are 5 and 8 to go to the one you want to.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
It potentially does 2 damage to you, but I don't think Hulk minds this, especially with what's been occurring.
No, I think he's okay with it. So yeah, be interesting. Maybe we try this one, Quinn, on our next game that we do.
As long as we get to play Research Station, I'm fine with it.
Nothing else, right, to share? There was nothing else.
Nothing
else happened.
Nothing else. Nothing hugely groundbreaking or anything. No, nothing like that.
So
I will quickly say, Rich, I was right. Fuck you.
So what are me and Quinn talking about? Well, we're going to put a couple of examples up on the screen, but the first 50 or so characters are currently being looked at by the development team, and they are making erratas to their cards.
Well, I'd imagine they've already been looked at. But
I would imagine so, yeah. We've got 4. We've seen 4 cards already, and there's some massive changes. We won't go through them in detail here, Quinn. We'll maybe do a separate video on them, but Hulk, I want to just say Hulk. Like, Hulk is back, right? Hulk now smashes.
Oh, Hulk Smash, good.
So you'll see some examples, and I'll put some links down below and things like that. But for me, I'm really happy that they are doing the erratas on the card. It means that characters such as Hulk, we've just mentioned, is now an absolute powerhouse. Captain America is a more than viable 4 threat.
I'm so happy. Like, of all of them, I'm happy about Cap.
Cap has to be a playable character in this game. He's so important.
Yeah. Right, you've got the big 3 in the MCU, right? You've got Iron Man, you've got Thor, you've got Captain America.
Yeah.
They all need to be great.
And right now, they're not. But they're going to be. They're going to be.
If Thor has a good day with dice, he's a monster on the table. But if he doesn't, you feel like he's a bit of a wet blanket.
So one general rule that we need to throw out there, and again, it hasn't come into play yet, but it looks like the dice modification rule of when you pay to play rerolls, at least for the 2 characters that we've had back, have been modified or been errated back to the way that we used to play it. The wrong way, but the way that we used to play it. So you pay for those rerolls during the dice modification stage, not once you've rolled your dice, which is massive for Shuri and for MODOK, the 2 characters that we've seen. They have, however, had a couple of nerfs as well, but I think bringing them back down to earth a little bit, right? Shuri should never have been able to push Dormammu, right? That's not a thing that should have...
I just hope that they still allow Kingpin to throw Dormammu because it's really funny.
Well, Kingpin, Groot, Thanos, but all those characters,
It's the power of judo, man.
It is. It really
Dormammu's
is.
own momentum against him and throws him. It's brilliant.
So, guys, we're super happy for it. It means that characters like Star-Lord, right, who have just struggled with that leadership ability.
Yeah, Scott as well. One of the reasons I think Scott is going to be looked at is because I think he's probably going to have an adjustment to his leadership.
I think he may do, he may do, although he's one of the newer characters. The thing I like about this more than anything else, Quinn, is it would have been so easy for them to go, well, actually, guys, why don't you spend another $40 on a 2-pack of new characters, and we're going to give you a new version of Captain America. And that feels really bad, right? The fact that they're going back to that core box and they're making changes to characters to make them relevant, for me, is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
To me, it shows a great deal of growth, and that's something I absolutely delight in seeing in gaming companies. Being able to acknowledge that, we're better at this now. We can do it better. We're going to do it better. Yeah.
No, I agree. What I'd love to see them do is go back in and look at some of those tactics cards as well at some point that they've banned or restricted, and maybe change those up a little bit as well.
I'd like them to look at a certain Infinity Gem.
I know you want the reality gem to be 2, but the good news is, guys, that all of this is being looked at. Now, how are you going to be able to get these cards? Because that's really important. The cards will be free, okay? If you don't want to pay a penny for these cards, you can download them, you can print them off for free. They're not going to charge you for them. They are, however, once they finish going through and they've announced all of the changes, you're going to be able to buy a pack of cards that will cover all of the characters off. Which, again, I think is nice, Quinn, because some people like, I'll be buying the cards, right? I want the
I'll
new
be buying
versions
as well. You like
of the
having
cards.
the ones. It's
Yeah.
better quality than a bit of paper.
Yeah, definitely.
One other thing that I think is genuinely quite important to mention with these new cards is they do have a new layout, and some of you might be irritated by that. You know, I would have preferred if they'd stayed vertical, but I think the reasoning behind it is very important, and it is accessible.
People can see them; they're going to be on the screen. But I agree. I think they are not as the old cards were gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. They've changed orientation, which I don't mind, but I get where they're coming from with the text. If they were full color, it would have made them very, very difficult for people to print out at home. It also makes it more difficult because they are going to now support, I think they said French, Italian, German, and Spanish. I think figs is what they said. So French, Italian, German, and Spanish, I think were the 4 that they mentioned. And it just makes it easier. But they're not as aesthetically pleasing. But I don't care. The new cards are better. Would you rather have a more aesthetically looking, pleasing portrait version of a really bad Hulk, or a card that's flipped on its side with a bit more white space of an amazing Hulk? And I know which one I want.
Ignoring that, I think I will very gladly trade some aesthetics for it being far more accessible to people.
Yeah.
I don't have any accessibility issues myself, but I think it's very good that they are doing better in that regard.
And I mean, let's be honest, right? We've all looked at Valkyrie's card and
gone, oh, that's an energy attack now.
It looks like an energy attack because of the background, and it's not. It's physical. It's just that it's a yellow attack, which is energy.
That reminded me of something I'm going to be very happy about, and this is one of those slight card misprints. And it's in the core box, and I wonder if you could tell me what it is.
I have no idea.
Right. In the core box Black Widow, her so you know how she has a pistol attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, the word pistol in that attack isn't whited out, it's transparent. So you see the card like the blue and orange stuff behind it, and that has annoyed me since day one. And I'm just glad that that's no longer going to be a thing I have to stare at and hate.
It's the little things, Quinn. But overall, guys, amazing weekend.
Yeah.
MiniStravaganza was awesome. Quick update for everyone. We have our September giveaway as normal, but head down to the description below. There is a link to a video we did, or I did a day ago, a couple of days ago now. It's my Dormammu box opening, but if you want to be with a chance to win a Hulkbuster, very, very kindly supplied by the guys from Elysian Gaming, you can find a link down to those guys in the description below. Then go take a look at that video because you'll find the ways in which you can enter our Hulkbuster giveaway competition. So Elysium Gaming, absolutely fantastic local gaming store. They're the brand new sponsor for the channel, and to kick things off, they've donated a Hulkbuster. Well, they've theoretically donated a Hulkbuster. They don't have them yet, but when they're released, they're going to be giving away a Hulkbuster to one lucky viewer. So make sure you head onto that video to take a look at that. Quinn, anything else to add?
Whoa, MiniStravaganza.
It was really good. It was really good. And Quinn, your Blade and Moon Knight arrived, right? You got to build that earlier.
Blade is so pretty. I love him.
Guys,
even without Voodoo, I'm taking them to IRL events.
Excellent. Guys, it leaves me with just enough time to say stay well, keep safe, and until next time, bye for now.
See you.